Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And there is a petition going around to try to keep Hollywood in Hollywood, to keep LA in LA. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the fires, I guess, and the effect that it has had on Hollywood movie production. Things were already in a bad place before the fires. And I think a lot of the studios now are looking at moving production out of the state.
They were before this.
They were. So this just speeds it up, And now we got Hollywood kind of begging Hollywood to stay. I don't know how it's going to go because we also have talk of California leaving the United States again for the 27th or 28th time.
I know, right?
But we'll talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You will get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to clownfish-com, join the reef, check out our merch, and also you can join here on YouTube and on Locals. Thank you very much. So we haven't really been kicking California while they're down very much since the fires because it is tragic. A lot of people have lost their homes, their livelihoods. But now we're looking at the prospect of rebuilding, and it might just be more cost effective for studios to be like, hey, let's just go to like Nevada or something.
Well, they were trying to attract them to other states before because other states, other countries offer them far more tax benefits than the LA area.
Yeah, just a month or two before the fires, they had this article out on filmtake.com. Production is fleeing LA, how poor policies are pushing producers away. And it's just very expensive, cost prohibitive. And now we got to contend with fires, cataclysmic fires. And I don't think Hollywood's ever, I'm going to be honest, I do not believe Hollywood is ever going to come back to where it was. I do not believe the entertainment industry is going to be centralized in Hollywood anymore. I think you might have the HQ in California, but the actual production, I think, is going to be outsourced all over the country, all over the world.
Well, I know that LA, they were trying to get ready for the Olympics in 2028. So I think they had some stuff set aside to do that. So they might be able to rebuild things quickly. But it'd be really, really tacky to just only rebuild the Hollywood stuff. You know what I mean? To try to get done quickly. I just don't know how that's going to go. I don't know if they have enough money to rebuild like that fast.
It's... Again, this is just, going by what they're saying on the news. I have no idea. I haven't lived in California for years, but they're saying, with all the red tape, it's going to take 3 to 5 years minimum to be able to start rebuilding the parts of LA.
I think they'll speed it up a little bit because, like I said, because the Olympics, but they might lose it now. Who knows,
I don't know. We've been talking about the decline anyway, but now we have, according to the Wrap, we have a whole campaign to stay in LA. 15,000 signatures.
Okay, wait. When you have to put like a what do they call those? Change.org type situation,
right?
Petitions with celebrities. It's bad.
Maybe they should sing. Maybe they should come up with a song like, we didn't start the fire. No. Bad. But like,
we own the world. We own your children.
Oh no. Look, and again, not trying to make light of the fire, but like this is if I were a business owner in LA, unless I had personal ties there and I absolutely positively had to stay, I'd be like, you know what? Literally every other state is looking better at this point for so many reasons, right? Florida's looking better, Texas is looking better, it's all looking better. But yeah, they gotta change a change.org position. Is that what this is? Oh my God.
I was joking, but
that's what
it's
I think
something
it
similar.
is, yeah.
Are you serious? I was kidding.
Stayinla.org. Okay.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, they wouldn't go, I mean, these are A-listers. They can't lower themselves to change.org.
No. They have to have their own site. Okay. So supporters of the Stay in LA campaign have more than doubled in the 4 days since it launched, with several A-listers throwing their weight behind the petition. So we have Keanu Reeves, Olivia Wilde, Bette Midler, Patty Jenkins. I thought, wasn't Bette Midler going to leave the country? No, I guess she's staying.
Apparently not.
Ryan Johnson, Kevin Bacon, Joey King, yada, yada, yada. LeVar Burton, Alex Winter. So we got Bill and Ted, both signed. Connie Britton, Jason Reitman, Charlie. Okay. They joined a growing list of supporters that in just 3 days, so that's actually not bad. 3 days have pushed the number of signatures from 6,000 to 14,729.
Okay, but no one's telling them they have to leave LA. They can stay in LA.
Yeah.
If they want to. They want it to be rebuilt. Okay, great. So you're signing a paper to do what? Because it's great. you're rich, but what about everybody else?
They're signing a petition for California politicians and studios to help our beloved city rebuild itself and ensure LA's future viability as a place where craftspeople, film workers, and businesses thrive.
Okay. So basically we want the celeb or the studios and the politicians to pay for us to stay, to rebuild our stuff so we stay here.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you, and you're not going to like it, the people listening to this who are living in LA, I'm going to tell you as a business owner, sometimes when the business burns down, that is a sign that you have an out. You have the insurance money and you have the impetus to move someplace else and be like, you know what, this is going to keep happening because there's wildfires every year and the cost of living, the cost of doing business here is astronomical. And now we can leave.
Here's what it's really about. Because they bring it up later, which it's not new. They've tried this before. They want to uncap the tax incentive for the productions that shoot in Los Angeles County that urges studios and streamers to pledge at least 10% more productions to LA. Basically, you showed that article a bit ago, they want you to give them the same tax breaks that other places give them so the studios stay there.
Right.
But that was already in play before the fire. So in a way, you're kind of leveraging the fire, saying you want to rebuild LA for people, but it's mostly so that you can keep filming stuff in LA.
Well, as I understand it, Trump wanted to give them money. Will they take Trump bucks? Will Bette Midler take Trump bucks?
I don't know.
If it means that LA gets rebuilt, I don't know. Because he, as of last night, apparently is piping water in from Northern California to Southern California.
Saw that.
I'm just saying, will Hollywood accept his help? Or are they going to just be like, no, we don't want anything to do with that fascist? Yeah,
I know. It's like these conventions who are saying we don't want any Nazis here, but they won't tell people if they voted for Trump not to come to their event because they want their money.
Yeah.
But they actively hate you, but they want your money.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be really interesting, and this kind of goes along with what we were talking about yesterday with animation. For a lot of studios, not saying everybody, but for a lot of studios, they were already looking at outsourcing, and they're going to take this as a sign to get the hell out of Dodge. Because
even if they rebuild, they want to keep the money there the next 3 years, but it's going to take at least that long to rebuild. So if you don't have people with homes or places, if your staff that you need, because you have the celebrities, right? But you have hundreds and thousands of people work on films besides celebrities, and if they don't have places to live, and they have to leave the area, or they don't have a place to go home to, how are you going to hire them to work to do that? You know what I mean? By the time you get 3 years is up, you're just now starting to get things rebuilt. It's already past that time. And by then they've already sent all the production someplace else.
Yeah. Nevada's looking pretty good for a lot, and it's not that far. Right. And you can move to Nevada, you can move to Texas. I think what is going to happen, and the fires just sped up the inevitable, is that Hollywood is going to be decentralized. The entertainment industry is going to be decentralized. And I personally think that's a good thing. Because again, when you put all your eggs into one basket and the handle in the basket breaks, you're in trouble. But it's also going to give opportunities, I think, to people all over the country who maybe wanted to get into the entertainment business, but they did not want to move to California. Now, it's not saying everybody is going to move out of California. I just think that it's never going to come back the way that it was. It's never going to be the absolute hub of all entertainment in the U.S. and the world.
I agree with you.
Spread out.
I see here, I'm reading this, and it says Newsom has already proposed increasing California's film and tax incentives to $750 million annually. And they're trying to argue that, that if we have more money, that we keep it here, more people are employed. But the flip side is you're asking more Californians to pay taxes that are turning around and giving the tax breaks to the wealthy studios.
Yeah, and a lot of Californians. So this is the thing too, and we'll segue into this. Cal exit. Now they're calling for California to secede from the union.
LA, San Francisco, those places are. I guarantee you, not all of California is.
And look, this is not the first time this has happened at all. But it's just so weird. It's like you want to rebuild California, you're probably going to need federal help. And now you're like, let's just cut ourselves off from the rest of the country. So what do you think is going to happen? More people are going to leave California because they're going to be like, yeah, I'm not making movies just for California. I'm going to go make money in the other 49 states, Yeah. And that's definitely going to be the kill shot if they do that. But yeah, this was just a couple days ago. There's a new bid to place a measure on the ballot that would ask California voters to approve the state's secession from the U.S., and it's been cleared for signature gathering. So this is Secretary of State Shirley Weber announced Thursday that a measure introduced by Marcus Evans of Fresno must receive more than 500,000 signatures by July. According to the text of the measure, the state would be required to create a 20-member state commission to study California's viability as an independent country in 2027 and publish a report the following year. TLDR, California can't survive on its own. Let's be honest.
Well, it's funny. What they're saying that it would go on the ballot in 2028. Interesting. That 3 or 4 years after they take all kinds of federal money to rebuild themselves.
As Trump can't run for office again.
And then, they're going to rebuild themselves, use all the money, and then we're not part of you anymore. Then you should give the money back.
If the ballot question is approved, the proposal would declare a vote of no confidence in the U.S., but would not change the state's government or its relationship with the U.S. Wait, what? The measure would also call for the removal of the U.S. flag from all state buildings. Okay. Oh, my God. So this is not the first time this has happened.
Go screw yourself. Don't care.
If you go out to Wikipedia, they said that there were 27 significant proposals prior to the 21st century that they were going to leave.
Basically, every time they don't get what they want, every time someone else wins, they have a little hissy fit and threaten to leave. I'm not seeing the downside, really. I feel bad. A lot of people in California are not Democratic, but they're not in the cities. Cities go Democrat. So
right. So California is weird. It really does feel like two states. I grew up partly in Northern California, which is very, very different from Southern California, which is where my stepdad's family is from. And you only went to Southern California, so you're like,
I hated it. No offense,
I hate it.
I'm like, California.
Oh, but Northern California, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, it was great. Northern California was great. We lived about an hour outside San Francisco, north of San Francisco, in Contra Costa County, and yeah, it was great. That being said, it was also a lot more conservative up there than it was down south, except until you go into San Francisco, Berkeley and stuff like that. But they didn't seem as crazy as they are now. But it was a very different vibe.
Were they pooping in the streets?
I'm sure they were, but we didn't notice it as much. I don't know. I think they had people cleaning up. I have no idea. But they were talking about cutting California in half back then. And my stepdad, as I recall, was actually on board with this because he's like, we shouldn't have to bankroll the insanity of Los Angeles in Northern California. Like we should not have to
well, I guess people are going to think now too. It's like LA, if Newsom approves this $750 million tax incentives for like the studios, that means everybody else in California is going to be paying for it.
Yeah.
But the flip side is, they need to do something because otherwise all the jobs are going other places and then no one has a job, so in that area.
That's true. I'm just sitting here thinking like, wait a second. So Trump is talking about taking Canada and taking Greenland, and you think you're going to be able to pull California away from the U.S.? Really?
No, like I said, it won't go into vote for 3 years from now. And that's how long they said they think it would take them to rebuild 3 to 5 years. So they would already have gotten all their money from the rest of the United States to rebuild themselves before they decide to go off on their own.
If it were me, I would have strings attached to that money just to make sure. I'd be like, if you take our money, if you take our federal money, you're not allowed to break away from the U.S. Do you understand? Because you're going to take our federal money.
Or if you do in the next 10 years, you have to pay it back or something.
Yeah, you got to pay it back. I mean, anybody else would do that, right? If you got a loan from anybody, they'd be like, yeah, you can't just, default on this. You have to pay us back, right? You're going to pay us back. So you have to stay with the country for at least another 10 to 15 years or however long it's going to take.
I don't think this is going to go anywhere. The other times it didn't go anywhere. It's just stupid. But it's funny to me, though, like all these celebrities and stuff are signing it. Because, yeah, they want to stay there because they already have their houses and they're well off there. If the studios leave LA, all their multi-million-dollar houses aren't going to be worth what they're worth now, and they're never going to be able to get their money for them.
No,
they need time to make sure they sell off their houses that are left, so that they can go someplace else, so that they're not stuck with decreasing property values and things like that.
Yeah, but I think it's inevitable. I think the fires actually the reason they're freaking out so much now is because you're at a fork in the road where you're already, I mean, this is coming from that other article, that Film Take article, but they said Disney's 2024 slate of 22 movies only has 3 that were set in California, shot in California.
Yeah, they're not using California anymore. They're going everywhere else. I mean, Canada was always someplace they went for years. I know when we were younger, all the shows were shot in Canada, it seemed. But yeah, Australia, UK, they're all giving them tax incentives. I know Georgia's been getting a lot of the film work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I remember they had a fit about Georgia too because of the politics or whatever.
Right, and they were in Pittsburgh for a while, but I don't think they're doing a lot of Pittsburgh anymore.
Not
Probably
as much
because
as
it
they
gets
used
too
to.
cold.
Yeah. But there we go, guys. So Hollywood is afraid Hollywood's going to leave California, and you should be. You should be afraid. I think there's a lot going on here. Things are going to change. It's never going to be the same.
Well, it's not even enough. It's not even enough that Hollywood might leave California, but then California might leave the United States.
California might leave the U.S. Who the hell knows? Everything is crazy. The next 4 to 10 years are going to be some of the most insane in the history of the United States for a variety of reasons. So buckle up. We're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.